We have a bit of a bombshell story that just came out based on a new book. So let me show this to you. First reported by the Daily Mail. Exclusive, Jeffrey Epstein believed he could make a deal to dodge sex trafficking charges by giving up dirt on Trump or Clinton after his 2019 arrest, and discussed ways to restore his image with Steve Bannon and Israeli PM Ehud Barak. What? So this is from the book Too Famous, The Rich, the Powerful, the Wishful, the Damned, the Notorious by Michael Wolff. Dude, that book title is way too long. It will lift the lid on billionaire Jeffrey Epstein's final months. The book, out October 19th, that's tomorrow, claims Epstein thought there was a deal to be made over his sex trafficking charges, including turning against Trump and Clinton. According to Wolff, who recounts his visits to Epstein's homes in New York City and Paris, the pedophile believed there were two scenarios behind his 2019 arrest. He thought, though, the Trump White House, through the DOJ, was trying to get Epstein to flip and reveal the sex secrets of Bill Clinton, Wolff writes. The other scenario was that New York prosecutors, who were investigating Trump's business affairs, ordered his arrest to pressure him to flip on Trump. Wolff recalls a visit to Epstein's New York City home in 2019, where he heard discussions with Steve Bannon and former Israeli PM Ehud Barak on how to restore his image. One suggestion was for Epstein to appear on 60 Minutes, CBS This Morning, or to be interviewed by Rachel Maddow, but Bannon said it would be tough. Yeah, that wouldn't have worked, dog. That wouldn't have worked. That would have went as well as the Prince Andrew interview went, where he bombed gloriously. There's another moment that they talk about where Epstein was on the phone with Steve Bannon, and Steve Bannon said to him, "You were the only person I was afraid of when I was in the Trump campaign." I think he was running the Trump campaign at one point. When I was in the Trump campaign, you were the only person I was afraid of who would come out and can tank Trump's chances of winning the presidency. And Epstein's response was, "As well you should have been." Look, this is one of those things where everybody kind of knew it, but we're just waiting for verification. Now, to be fair, the dude who wrote this book, there are charges of him not being totally forthright and honest and maybe twisting stuff and misleading people. He's not viewed as the most honest of sources, okay? Having said that, this is the thing that people already thought was the case, and I don't know how much you want to weigh on this, but this appears to be some level of verification for what everybody was thinking, which is Jeffrey Epstein was the owner and operator and manager of Elite Sex Crimes Incorporated, and he knew where all the bodies were buried. He knew what everybody was into. He had a list of politicians and world leaders and corporate giants and celebrities. He had a list that was so long of all of their darkest, dirtiest secrets. And so when he was arrested, yeah, the first thing I thought, the first thing many of you thought was, oh, this could get good, because to save his own ass, he could flip on anybody and everybody. And he could spill the secrets. And so, in other words, he can use that to get off for his own crimes. You know, you go after the bigger fish. You catch a smaller fish, then you go after the bigger fish. And he knows about all the biggest fish. And so when he died, committed suicide, everybody left, right, center agreed, oh, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. And to this day, obviously I still think he didn't kill himself. He was probably killed because he was going to spill the beans on anybody and everybody. But that's fascinating that in his own mind, he potentially thought, Trump wants me to flip on Clinton, which is why I was arrested, and give the dirt about Clinton. And he probably would have given the dirt about Clinton. Or if the New York prosecutors are behind it and they're going after Trump's businesses, they want me to spill the dirt on Trump. So that, and then I'll get off and they have their ammunition against Trump. And he probably would have done that too. So lo and behold, now he's dead. Because he was probably going to start chirping on either Trump or Clinton. By the way, this is a great test of how tribal and partisan people are. If they downplay either Trump or Clinton's, connection with Epstein. Because they were both connected to Epstein, and I'm sure he had dirt on both of them. And if somebody's dismissive of, Trump wasn't with him that much and it was fine, then that person's a Republican hack. And if somebody's like, it's Bill Clinton, Trump was the one who was with him, and whatever, Bill, I'm sure it was an honest situation, that person's a Democratic hack. It's a real good litmus test as to how far gone somebody is when it comes to partisanship. God damn it, I hope eventually we get the details. I really do. I really do. And also, a final point is, why was former Israeli PM Ehud Barak there? Answer, because my speculation, I think, is correct. I think he was Israeli intelligence. Nobody really knows all the specifics and the details as to how he was as wealthy and as powerful and in the elite circles as he was. And I think the missing piece is he was Israeli intelligence. And so you get dirt on all these big-time Americans, and then they have something they can hang over your head, and you make sure that every American with power has unyielding loyalty to the Israeli government. I do think that is that was one of the so-called conspiracies that was floated a long time ago. I don't see why the former Israeli PM would be there unless that is true. Maybe you say maybe not Israeli intelligence, maybe CIA, maybe. But there's some part of the story we're missing. He didn't just fleece a billionaire and then come up that way, which is the story. That's the story of Jeffrey Epstein, some, big-time, wealthy businessman that he sort of got his trust and then was able to shake him down and have wealth and power. That's not the whole story. There's something that's missing, and I think that is the missing piece, but there you have it. I'm sure Trump and Clinton were both shaking in their boots when Epstein was arrested and they thought he might flip, and would you look at that? Looks like the problem took care of itself and he was killed. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.